Hello guys and welcome to today's class. So today I thought we should look at a past paper that I had intended to look at in class, but due to time considerations, we could not really tackle all the papers that I had in mind. So I had like 4 or 5 papers that I wanted us to tackle, but today I will only look at just 2. Please bear in mind that I will not delve really deep into a specific question, but some of these things are things that we've covered, and it is important for you to take time on your own and do some reflection and move on. So let's start with the first question. Define the following terms. We have system unit, we have processor, technology, and motherboard. So these are very basic, not basic question, but really straightforward question. System unit, all of us understand, that is the casing that gives us, that encloses the motherboard and all internal devices. Processor basically is a chip that allows us to carry out instructions and perform processes. Technology, well, that is a holistic term that is targeted towards various technological advancements like the advent of machines, computers. And then finally, we have motherboard. Motherboard basically houses all components of a computer. Like we have memory is mounted on the motherboard. We have a hard disk, which is also mounted on the motherboard. We have fans and power supply, all of which are mounted where? The motherboard. Right. So the next question is basically explain the difference between the following terms, hardware and software. Yeah, I want to believe we covered this and you are in a very good position to explain that. Standalone operating system and network operating system. Here, I will just explain network operating system. This simply means that we have an OS, an operating system that cuts across multiple devices, like an Novell NetWare. It's called Novell NetWare. Novell NetWare basically is a network operating system that allows all computers connected within a network to share that operating system. Question C, briefly describe 4 basic operations called the machine cycle. Okay, so this one I would want you to have a look at it and on your own free time, actually just research on it. Explain 2 ways through which a company can acquire software. All right, we have free software and we have a company can actually download free software or can actually buy or purchase. Explain any 3 key characteristics that differentiate main memory from secondary memory. Last week we took a lot of time explaining what main memory was and secondary memory is. So you are good to go. F, application of computer technology has impacted the society in a big way. That's true. Discuss the negative impact of computer technology in the context of Kenyan society. Well, yeah, negative impact is that sometimes it can be used for scamming. Guys can use it to, for illegal purposes like money laundering. And what else? It's quite, technology as it's advancing is rapidly becoming a bit costly. And you find that for guys to actually obtain the technology they might be tempted to acquire money illegally, right? So differentiate between the following terms: ROM and RAM, BIOS and CMOS. Okay, warm boot and warm booting and cold booting. So allow me to explain only this one. Basic input output system. When a computer is loading, it first of all must load the basic input output system. Okay, these are just the general instructions that are provided by the manufacturer to the computer. Like when it's booting, it must ensure the hard drive is okay, memory is okay, the fan is working properly, your battery, if you have one, is working okay, your graphics card is okay, all software installed are okay. These are just the basic input output software configurations. CMOS, this is basically a battery, a small battery that allows us to keep these configurations alive. Like, how does your computer tell time? Okay, how does it maintain time configurations? So complementary metal oxide semiconductor basically allows us to do that, to ensure that these utilities always are up and running even when the computer is shut down. Next, Briefly discuss the role played by the following devices: control unit, cache memory. Control unit, we did talk about it. Let's talk a little bit about cache memory. Cache basically is a very fast type of memory, okay, that allows us to get instructions pretty quick, right? And sometimes whenever you load, like if you're online and you load a particular page and you find that you do not have internet, you might see recently, okay, let me take that again. You open up a browser, you go to a page, and then let's say it's Facebook. Whatever you're seeing there, you might not have internet for that. And if you don't have internet for that, and yet you can see data, then that data is being fetched from the cache memory. Okay, a very fast type of memory that stores recently executed instructions. So the computer system consists of a number of components. Describe any key components. Yeah, we have the monitor, we have the processor, we have the hard disk, we have the motherboard, we have keyboard. Okay, although that is not a major one. We have peripheral devices. All those you can explain. Differentiate between open source and freeware software. Okay, open source basically is a software that is free, downloadably free, and allows you to modify the source code. Okay, it allows you to modify the source code. That is why it's called open source. Freeware basically is just free software that sometimes does not, in most cases, does not allow you to manipulate the software or expand the software a little bit. So that's the difference. Open source gives you access to the codes while freeware does not. But both are downloadably free. Outline any 4 features of a graphical user interface. Outline any 4 features of a graphical user interface. Whenever you're talking about graphical user interface, you're talking about the things that you can see. Okay, like we have menu items, we have images, we have icons, all right? All that are some of the features of a graphical user as opposed to command line interface. Question 3. Identify 4 key requirements for connecting to the internet. Yeah, for you to connect to the internet, number 1, you need either point-to-point connectivity, or you need to run cable like fast Ethernet cables. You need to have Wi-Fi. Okay, you can even have a radio, nano station, a radio. A radio basically is what allows, like suppose you have internet at your home and then your neighbor tells you, hey, can I access your Wi-Fi? What you just need to do is to append a radio transmitter, and that transmitter will broadcast signals to all your neighbors and they can actually log in. All right, and the last thing, you need an ISP, an internet provider. Describe key concepts, the concept of packet switching as used in computer network data transmission. Yeah, packet switching simply means that when data is traveling, like if I send email to you, that email is segmented, okay, is divided into portions. And then those portions are sent via the network to your destination. Now, the real gist is that they use different routes to arrive to your destination, okay? Like if I was to send this data to you, it would be segmented into multiple parts, and then we use multiple routes. And then once we've arrived, then we reassemble all our packets and the data is consumed by you. Identify 4 types of computer networks. 4 types of computer networks. We have public networks, we have protected networks, we have internet, we have intranet, we have extranet, and so on and so forth. Use a diagram to identify the layering concept of transmission control protocol, internet protocol stack, and explain the functions of each layer. So this one I need to show you, just give me a minute. And also, as you can notice, questions looking at what is So allow me later. That is not in memory. Continue. Then come back once it has loaded. Write the following acronym input output system. Erasable read-only memory. Disk operating system or software. And the RAM and to me, the make of the make well, yeah, guys, and the rest. See. Linux, we also have Windows, Fedora, and so on and so forth. System software are basically operating systems and catered to only one function. They do multiple functions. They are able to perform multiple functions. Describe 3 types of operating systems. I think I've listed a few, so you can expand on that. Finally, describe any 6 functions of an operating system. Okay, resource allocation, allocation and deallocation, memory management, time management, initiation of parallel processing, so on and so forth. Describe the 4 major computer generations in details. This one, guys, we've covered it in details, and you are in a very good position to answer that. So let me check whether the TCP/IP has loaded. It's still loading. So yeah, this is a very good paper. I found it interesting, and take time, just go through it line by line, question by question. Try, answering it to your best of your ability. Yeah, and I think it is an important one. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so this is another past paper that I really like, and I found it interesting, that I felt we needed to share. All right, list 3 processes performed by a computer so as derive required useful information. Now, 3 processes. We did talk about processes performed by a computer. Okay, so go back to your notes and you will be in a very good position to answer that question. State and explain 2 major components of a computer device. 2 major components, for me, that would have to be the processor and memory. And feel free to go deeper and explain what exactly you mean when you talk about processor. What exactly do you mean when you talk about memory? Okay, define the following terminologies as used in computers. System tree. Okay, system tree. If you're using Windows, system tree is basically icons that are found at the bottom right. bottom right of your screen, and you shall find there you have the time and all open applications. Okay, bottom right, that gives you your system tray. For me, I'm not using Windows, so my system tray basically is to the left. But if you're using Windows, bottom right, just check and you'll be able to see. Taskbar, title bar, this one should be easy for you to identify. Control unit, here we're talking about the operating system. And you know, majorly we have the control unit, arithmetic logic unit, main memory, what else? Input and output, secondary memory. So you should be able to explain all those compartments or components. State the functions of the following keys and shortcut keys on the computer keyboard. Yeah, this is also an interesting question. When you press the function key F6, basically it takes you to the address bar where you normally type www.facebook.com. If you press the F6, that is where it will take you. F11 basically allows us to get a full screen. Like if you're using what? Opera, Firefox, or Chrome. When you press F11, then you get a full screen. Okay, that is what it gives us. The last two, Control V, I think you know what that means, and the Control Alt Delete, that is also another one, and I think you also know what it does. If you don't, then implement it and see what happens. Define headers and footers, explain how they are used in shaping the view of a document Word editor. Headers and footers. Basically, a header is this part. Okay, when you go to Microsoft Word, guys, bear in mind that I am not using Microsoft Word. I am using, it's called LibreOffice. It's called LibreOffice. So whenever you double click the header section of your document and type anything, it will cut across all pages. Like if you have 10 pages, whatever you type here will be displayed in all pages. Okay. In the footer section is basically the end of your page, not document page here. Here, this is the footer section. You see, this is the footer section. So here you can put page numbering and whatever it is that you'd like to appear here. Okay. So that is the footer section. Of course, you need to add some more details to it, not just brief definitions. Using a suitable cell reference syntax, example, differentiate between relative cell reference and absolute cell reference. Okay, let me see. Relative, let's say, let me see whether I can be able to do something. Let's say you have a table. Let me insert a table. Insert table. Table. I closed it. Just a minute, guys. Just 1 minute. I'm using suitable cell reference syntax example, differentiate between relative cell reference and absolute cell reference. Now, I am sharing my entire screen so you can see. Okay, let me go to Excel so that I can be able to show you. Okay, suppose you have this kind of structure. You have a document column A with 1 all the way to 16, and B you have 7 through to 22. Suppose I just want to add, I will just type is equals A1, okay, and B1, and then I just hit enter. Now, instead of me typing the same over here, 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 and here, I could just apply this and copy it all the way like that. Okay, so you find that I am getting the right results. That is the sum of 10 plus 16, that is 26. All right, so and another way, you can just double click, right, and I'll be able to get all the results. So you can imagine how much time it saves you if you have such a large document. Now, what we've done basically is called relative cell referencing. Relative cell referencing, okay, whereby you apply the formula across all your columns to get the intended result. On the other hand, absolute cell referencing is a bit different. What happens is you have the same cells, A and B, A1 and B1. So you just append a $sign at the middle. So that means we are only interested, okay, $sign, enter. So that means we are only interested in 1 and 7. So if I was to copy it down here, would get, what do you think we'll get? We'll get the same result, which is 8. Okay, why are we getting 8? Because we actually absolute, we've said that we are only interested in 1 and 7. If I remove this, if I remove that $sign, it simply means that I am only interested in 1. So it will be 1 plus 7, 1 plus 8, 1 plus 9, 1 plus 10. Let's see it in action. Okay, you see 7 plus 1 is 8, 8 plus 1 is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, through to 23. Okay, so that is absolute cell referencing. Describe the difference between RISC and CISC. We talked about this, and you'll find this in your notes. Define the following terms as used in computer technology: main memory, parallel processing, internet. Should be in a very good position to answer that question. Describe the following units and list 3 devices found for each unit: input unit, storage unit, output unit. These are things that we've covered, and should be in a good position to identify what input devices, storage devices, output devices. Computers can be classified according to purpose and operation. Yeah, we have a video explaining this, and also you'll find this question in your notes. Not necessarily the question, but a portion of it is talking about what is being asked. Write down the syntax of the following functions in MS Excel. The syntax, basically, we have sum, and then sum plus the values, Okay, it looks like that. That is the syntax. So this gets us the sum. This counts for us. This gets the product for us, and the if function. This is a bit longer, so I'd like to challenge you to get it. Distinguish between a worksheet and a workbook. A worksheet is just an individual. This is a worksheet. But if I continuously add several worksheets, give us a workbook. Now this one becomes a workbook. Okay, a workbook basically contains multiple worksheets, and a worksheet is just an isolated standalone worksheet. Formula bar and toolbar. Yeah, this is your formula bar. Toolbar, I know you can identify it. Data sorting, what is to sort and what is to filter. That one I'll leave it to you guys. Describe describe computer hardware by use of a block diagram. Show the input processing. Yeah, basically this is the diagram that we were drawing on the board, whereby we have input and then we have output. We have arithmetic logic unit. We have control unit. You can even append registers, cache, registers, yeah, and you can also add main memory and finally secondary memory. That diagram is in our notes. Please feel free to consult your notes widely. State the 3 communication buses within a computer central processing unit. Explain the functions of each. And this is a very good question that you'll find in your notes. 3 communication buses. Okay, basically this is just a circuitry that enables communication to take place. So please guys, just have a look at that. Explain the following types of memory: RAM, ROM, cache. I think we've discussed that. Enumerate 5 characteristics that make computers valuable in our day-to-day lives. You can do that. Discuss 5 fields in which computers are applied in today's society. You are in a very good position to identify that. And finally, explain how number systems relate with it. Yeah, this is actually very important that we did not cover, the number systems. So what I will do, I will just give you an assignment on number conversion, conversion into binary and decimal, right? And then I'll also give you an Excel task. Please find time and implement. So yeah, in case you have any question, please feel free to email me or WhatsApp me. I'm always readily available. And I wish you guys all the best in your forthcoming exams. Just go to read your notes thoroughly. Once you've done that, please try implementing all these questions that we've done. We should have done more, but this will help. And I wish you all the best of luck. See you later. See you on Monday. Bye-bye.